What's going down? It's Rad back again with another video. I am doing a voiceover on this one. Unfortunately, I'm in a hotel, so hopefully the background noise doesn't come through too much. But I did want to talk to you guys about something. So recently I've been thinking a lot about upgrading my motorcycle. I've been thinking about it quite often. I had been thinking about going ahead and getting a bagger because I do go out to Utah and I'm going to be doing that quite often. So it made more sense for traveling wise to have bags, more comfortability, things like that, a bigger tank for sure. When I do ride my bike out, I usually have to stop every 100 miles or so to fill up, and it would have worked so much better to have a bigger bike. So in this video, actually, I was heading up just to Harley-Davidson Henderson just to go ahead and take a look at some of the bikes that recently came in. They got a lot of the 2022s, and they post on their Instagram a few other bikes from 2020 and 2019. A lot of used bikes and things like that they've gotten in. So I was like, well, let's go down Harley Henderson, take a look and see what bikes they have. Also, I wanted to look at some of the new STs, some of the 2020 STs, Lowrider S, the new Street Bob, all those bikes. I wanted to take a look at them, and, you know, sit on them, see how they feel. I had thought about doing test rides on all those bikes and things like that. So I figured let's go down there and see how I feel about any of these bikes, if any of these are ones that I would want to get. So I did go to Harley-Davidson Henderson. When I got there, I checked out a few of the bikes, you know, sat on them, things like that. I really liked some of the bikes that I sat on. One in particular was the Lowrider S, the 2022 Lowrider S. I really liked the way, like, the ergonomics of it, the way it felt when I sat on it. It just was perfect. It felt like it was the right size bike for me, things like that. So I really liked it. I went home, thought it over like all night. Was like, I don't know if I could even get a new bike right now, you know. Could I afford the payments, things like that? Like, would I get anything for my bike if I was to trade it in or anything like that? So thought it over all night long. Finally decided to go back to Harley and just see what happens. Went into Harley, got there, went ahead and had them run my credit and everything, see what I can get for Panther at the time, just to see if I can get anything. And I did end up leaving Harley-Davidson Henderson with a brand new bike. And yeah, so let's not draw this along any further. Here is the new bike, guys. And there you have it. So I went down to Harley-Davidson Henderson just to check out the bikes. Ended up leaving with my Lowrider S, 2022 Lowrider S. Gotta say, I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. I love that bike. I'm definitely gonna miss that bike because it was my very first one. I love the way it looked. I love everything that I put into it. But I'm so happy I have this bike. I'm still in the break-in period, so I'm taking it easy on this one for now, but it definitely feels a lot different. You know, you have I went from having a throttle cable to throttle by wire, which is different. Obviously the power is different. I went from an 883 to about 1800 cc's, so 883 cc's to 1800 cc's, big difference. That 117 is no joke, no joke at all. But I've been happy ever since I've gotten this bike. I've been all smiles, in just such a great mood. You know, they say that if you don't get off your bike and look back at it, then that's not the bike for you. I always look back at this bike. I can't help it. It's a great bike. I love the way it feels, love the way it looks. It just fits perfect. I was actually, before I got this bike, I was thinking about maybe getting a road glide or like a street glide, and I was actually looking more along the road glide. I ended up changing my mind and not going with the bagger, and the only reason I was thinking about getting a bagger for the most part was because I am going to be traveling out to Utah a lot, and so with that, I did do a ride on the Sportster to Utah, and I had a hard time trying to get that video posted up, but I did make that trip on the Sportster, and with that 3.3 liter tank, or gallon tank, not liter, sorry, it was a lot of stopping. So this one has a 5-gallon tank. I also wanted the bags, so that way I can just put my stuff up in the bags and not have to worry about having a backpack and all this other stuff. Well, with this bike I could just go ahead and get some bags that are removable, and then I'll have bags and my backpack that I can attach to my sissy bar, and I have a 5-gallon tank that's gonna get me a lot further before I have to refill. So that was definitely what pushed me towards this, was that once I saw the ST, I thought maybe I wanted the ST, but I didn't like the gauge on the ST, and I didn't like how one of the bags was smaller than the other on the ST. So I said, well, why don't I just go ahead and get that Lowrider S. I could get some bags that I could detach. I could change the fairing. I mean, put a bigger fairing on here, you know, the Memphis shade fairing, whatever. I can get it painted, leave it black, whatever, it doesn't matter. So I'd have the fairing, I'd have bags, and I'd have an actual gauge that's not like super tiny where I'm struggling to see what it says on the gauge. So I'm excited for what's to come on this bike. I'm so happy with this bike. I don't even know what else to say. I just came back from my boy Steve's house. Rode down here he had some issues with his shifter, so one of our co-workers came through that we'll probably eventually ride with as well. He came through and helped out. He got the shifter in working order so he could shift now. So we went out and did a little bit of practicing, and now I'm headed back to my place from his. But I wanted to just go ahead and get on here and talk to you guys a little bit about the bike after you see what's come of it. Let's see what we got. looking forward to the future adventures on this bike, and I really hope that this bike serves me as well as Panther did. On that note, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video right here. You guys stay safe. Remember to have fun.